Guys, hey guys, breaking news. My goodness. I haven't even had time to tag it. I haven't even time to share it. I'll do all that at the end of it, but I just had to just go live with this. I don't care how many people are watching, but Ed Woodward has resigned as chairman of Manchester United Football Club. Obviously, I posted a day before regarding the Super League and the confirmation. I haven't really been keeping up, but I've been tweeting about it and stuff and my thoughts and trying to give a sort of balanced perspective on it. The impression I'm getting is that things are going to collapse. Basically, things are basically going to collapse fairly soon. And now this has come in from the Manchester United report. Shout out to everyone in the chat is saying that Ed Woodward has resigned as chairman of Manchester United. This is coming from @Talk Sport. Has Manchester Live. That is Ed Woodward has resigned. Now, I'll say this. The glazers still in charge of the club. The glazers still in charge. They're still in charge. So they were. It was, I think, Ed Woodward got them to buy the club in the first place. So they can always get someone else. So it's not like the glazers are here, and I don't think the glazers are going to resign. But my goodness, this is a major development for Manchester United Football Club in that Ed Woodward has resigned. He's resigned. Shout out to Rasmus in a shout. Like, I love this as well, man. Hopefully, if also, I hope so too. I hope so too. See, this is the thing. One of my things about this whole movement of Super League was that, and my skepticism was that, is this actually going to lead to sustained change, or is this just a question of it's just going to go back to the status quo? That was my big issue. That was my big issue. And if this has now led to sustained change, where you get the glazers out, you get Woodward out, and we get good investment and change and integrity back into the club, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it, honestly. Neil says that's a good thing, right? Yes, it is. It is a good thing. It is a very, very good thing, in my opinion. This is a plan. Glazers are still here. And this is the thing. The Glazers are still here. But Ed Woodward has resigned. Presumably over, like we don't obviously know the details. This is literally breaking. This is coming in as we speak. Rasmus says, government should force those who've got money but no ethics. I mean, I'm always a bit sketchy of government intervention in private business. I think that's a bit. I think that's a dangerous road necessarily to go down. But my goodness, Ed Woodward, even now Fabrizio Romano is now tweeting it. Ed Woodward has resigned as Manchester United executive vice because of the # Super League situation. Man City and Chelsea have intention to lead the Super League and are preparing with their legal teams. Okay, so that's where we are with the Super League right now. Okay, Ed Woodward gone. So the ramifications of this, guys, are huge. They really, really, really are huge. This is big, guys. This is really, really, really big. And then obviously with City and Chelsea, Chelsea clearly were backed into a corner over this. But what I don't understand, I posted a couple of tweets about this, is that what I don't get is if Perez was telling the truth, and there's a very good chance Perez wasn't telling the truth, if the contracts were binding, I don't get how they come out of it unscathed without having to pay significant fees. If the contracts were binding, because that's what Perez says. He says you sign the contract, they can't come out of it. So if they were binding, there's going to be some ramifications for Chelsea, Manchester City for essentially breaching a new contract. At least that's my thoughts anyway. Neil Gov says, I worked on a yacht and I can tell you, man, billionaires are never opposed. They've disgraced us before clubs yet. Can see how it's happened, but they have another plan. Yeah, I agree. Nah, Neil, they've disgraced them, not the whole clubs in the history. Man United, I think, might pull out. Well, we'll see. We'll see whether they pull out. But the thing about this is that, shout out to Guys Box, Agnelli. Oh, is that confirmed? Agnelli quits Juventus? Because he was the spearheader. I mean, there's a lot of. Let me just look at the tweet. There's a lot of stuff popping. Fabrizio Romano has This is like this is all now spiraling out of control now, and it's chaotic. Let me just have a check. So Woodward is trending. There's rumors that Atletico are bailing out as well. I mean, I'm just gonna. I usually go by Fabrizio Romano, but there's so much information that's coming out now. Yeah, they're just okay. I'll have a look. Geez, this is unprecedented, guys. This is absolutely unprecedented. KSI says yes, nothing to do with the clubs. These guys tried to kill football. They had to go. I mean, I've always said I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. They tried to kill football. Football is already in the mud anyway. Like as far as I'm concerned, the only way this falls apart is because UEFA either promised these big clubs more money or UEFA got more powerful. You know, I'm not here going up here and start defending UEFA, FIFA, and what have you when they're creating more competitions to line their own pockets, irrespective of human suffering. You know, and I've said this several times. Like, I don't see, for example, the Qatar World Cup in 2020 being moved to the winter period. The slave labor that was used to formula, I didn't see the same fight amongst anyone for that. So I think it comes more to the fact that people are prepared to accept the greed from UEFA and FIFA for entertainment, but they're not prepared to accept the greed from their club owners. But it is what it is. That's my personal take. I'm just saying that, like, I don't have any empathy or something for UEFA and FIFA, and I think they're corrupt organizations themselves. Boxers and Brenton, let's go then. Average Joe says, yes, I'm in school and I got the great news. So as it seems, they saw a triple memory, but look what happened in China. That is true. Wait, KSI says, now the Glazers. Yeah, well, the Glazers still own Manchester United, so that's not sort of, but I mean, what's going on? I mean, this looks the thing is, and I'll say this. What I will say about this though, is that does this not just delay the inevitable? Does this not just delay the inevitable? Because the fact that this was an option, the fact this was there, okay. But what happens because right now the trajectory of football is that we're not now going to go back unless, I don't know, is this going to pave the way for fan ownership of football clubs where you have the German model 50-50? Maybe. But if that doesn't happen, you're still going to get multimillionaires and billionaires coming into clubs. You're still going to need that revenue from clubs. The control of the club is still going to be there. So what happens when more clubs lose a lot of revenue, when they close, when they shut down? We're not getting less. You know, you'll just get more and more support. You know, I think maybe, I don't know. Like the vid. Good comments here. The collapse of the may well see the Glazer family sell the club. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying in terms of actual change, man. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. But I mean, to who though? I guess. I mean, and this is what I'm saying before, is that if they're going to sell, we need to fundamentally, and this is the thing. It's like, and I say this, I've been saying on Twitter so many times, is that I don't want to go back to the status quo. I don't want to go back to the status quo. I want to go back. If we're gonna change, we should push change for at least similar to the German model. Sorry, my phone's going off. We should go back to a situation where, at the very least, you have 50-50 fan ownership between owners and fans, like we have in the German Bundesliga. The status quo right now is multimillionaires and billionaires are driving football. So if you can go back to some sort of fan ownership and push that's fine. You know, if the Glazers do sell, it's like, well, who are they selling to? And will they necessarily have the interest of the football club at heart? You know, it's no good selling the club and then getting someone like Mike Ashley to buy it, if you see what I'm saying. Is this official? According to TalkSport, it's on the Twitter. I think. Well, now Fabrizio Romano is basically tweeting. I go Fabrizio Romano, man. You know. Like the vid, please. Yes, I haven't. Like, guys, I've not tagged this. I've not shared it. So please, if you can share it and show us, get involved in the conversation. If you want to come on, let me know. You know, I just heard the news and I just had to go live because I've literally just excitement on the break on such a breaking news. You know. Let's see. We all forget that. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, how was the Premier League formed? It was a breakaway from the English First Division. If let's be real, guys, let's be real. If the Premier League, if Twitter and Facebook and social media was around when the Premier League broke away from English First Division, you'd probably hear the same complaints. You probably would. No one is defending UEFA, but there are levels to greed, and JP Morgan are at the very top of the pyramid. I don't know. I don't think there are any levels to greed. It just comes to, but this is what I'm saying. It comes to what we accept. So I use the Qatari situation, for example. It's like we can accept the Qatari World Cup, where let's be real, they bribed FIFA to get it, to get that World Cup, to move it from a traditional summer tournament to winter tournament when people are going to be spending time with their families and building stadiums on the back of basically slave labor. But we accept that for the sake of entertainment. So I don't think it's levels. I just think it's different greed. We have issues with greed with the club owners, but we don't have issues with greed with FIFA and UEFA. You know, so that's my personal opinion. So, but I've not seen this amount of, let's put it this way, I've not seen this amount of, despite the corruption that UEFA have, I've never seen this amount of genuine from against those guys in the last 50 years, despite the ex-UEFA president currently being in prison. You know, yes, but also you've been one of the few people to be open about football changing for the worse before this year. Yeah, you know, I just want to try and be balanced, because this idea that I'm obviously against the Super League, but this idea that football is okay now in the status quo with where things are, when small clubs, then the disparity between the big clubs and small clubs is there, when clubs on the low end of scale are closing down, communities are being devastated. I've said, you know, okay, for a lot of people saying that the likes of City and United, etc., should be banned and punished. Are you really going to get the Premier League to give revenue to supplement the lost revenue that the smaller clubs are going to suffer? No, you know. So we got to be balanced by this. But it is what it is. The first billion promised. Scary. Go watch it. Yeah, exactly. Manchester's red people. It is. Can I come on? I'm going to be hopefully doing a late show, Adam, at some point actually. And then Bales says Manu can go places now that Eddie's gone. Well, can they go places with the Glazers still in charge? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure because Ed Woodward is gone, but the Glazers in charge. You know. I mean, this is. See, look, so I'm even on Twitter now, and they're saying breaking UEFA and talks with an investment fund to create a new Champions League that would have a 4.5 billion budget, which would rise to 7 billion. See, guys, this is the thing. There's more to this story. There's more. Something has changed. And for example, if what I said is true, in that UEFA have now suddenly managed to got some more money from elsewhere, then clearly something has changed. And I suspect what's happened is that what I think has happened basically, guys, is that there's been a compromise. And UEFA said, listen, well, two things. Either UEFA have got more powerful, or the more likely situation is like, guys, listen, we've now somehow been able to acquire more money for the Champions League. Here's some more money that we can give to you guys. annually. So really, like, if you wait for basically back deal and said, okay, Chelsea City, we know you're going to be there regularly. We pretty much guaranteed you a spot. Because, guys, people complaining about the City and Chelsea, most of these clubs are guaranteed qualification anyway. Not just by the league, but also bearing in mind the new Champions League format, there's going to be at least, I think, 4 spots that are going to be given based on merit or historical merit, which basically means the likes of, if City or any other teams were ever out of the Champions League, they'd be put into the Champions League. That's their version. If there's a dealing that's saying, right, okay, we've got a deal where we're going to say, right, you guys get more money compared to others. The only difference really between the new Champions League format and the Super League is that there's more people and it's slightly more open. But the premise is still the same. You know what I mean? It's sort of the whole thing is very strange. And I'm still very, I mean, what is the future for Manchester United? And I probably will do a show about it at some point. But what is the future? What is the future for Manchester United? You know, because I don't know how Manchester United Football Club come back from this. I really don't. I do not know how they come back from it. So I'm just getting a picture of Ed Woodward up into the thing. So I just don't get it. Are the Glazers just going to wait and see how this kind of this boils over, right? You know, because to be fair, they've not come out. The Glazers have not really come out and said anything. They've just literally just been like, "Oh yeah, we're you know, we're so I'm saying, yeah, we're in fact, I don't think the official Twitter or the official Twitter said anything really. I think they've been really, really quiet and close to their chest. So are they just going to wait for the whole thing to pass, the media to just sort of just crack on, do what it's doing, and then business will resume as normal? I don't really know. So I've just changed the thing. I really, really, really don't know. It's let me look at your comments, guys. This is making it is. Think PSG community is because Nurse is a high ranking of UEFA. They got a pass on F15 plus. Yeah. Allow this. I'm seeing a lot of piffing on Twitter saying, "Oh, PSG are high moral." All the rest of us. This is the thing. Is like, for me, it's just billionaires against billionaires. No, billionaires against multi-millionaires. You know, the multi-millionaires are for the people. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not. Remember when United played Real in Miami in 120,000 stadium? I do. They've got to come back to that at some point. They do. They don't come back from this. This is the beginning of the end of the Glazers. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I don't know how. I generally don't know how the Glazers come back from this. Ed Woodward is gone, but then I'm thinking, okay, they clearly want to. They clearly will want to sell the club. So how do they actually sell? What? Who buys Manchester United? Guys, I don't know. I don't know. I really, really, really don't know. I'm speechless because we've been saying, like, you know, hashtag, you know, hashtag Woodward out, hashtag glazers out. So the fact that Woodward is out, I mean, what I would say though is that, do we give a bit of, you know, do we give a bit of respect for Ed Woodward, because he's resigned. Because for all the hate, for all the, because everyone's celebrating, right? But why did he? But no one's asking, why did Ed Woodward actually resign in the first place? You know what I mean? Why did Ed Woodward actually resign? If he resigned over the Super League, then shouldn't we be giving Ed Woodward a bit of props? Because everyone's loving it. I get it. But like so one would imagine that Ed Woodward resigned because his stance against the Super League. So surely we shouldn't really be going at Woodward like, oh, celebrate this. Is like, it's the Glazers who are pushing it, clearly it's the Glazers, the owners, and only the Glazers of Manchester United that are pushing this whole thing. And they can go and find someone else to replace Ed Woodward to get their agenda across. Am I making sense? Does that make sense? Let's have a look. Yeah. Thought it was just, but no, he's gone. And FSG have to go as well. Get rid of FSG. The Saudis are coming. Well, I'm not going to give my opinion, but I don't know how that's better. It's just, I don't know. This is what I'm saying. It's like replacing one billionaire with another. Okay, maybe they might be for the fans more so, but you still got the situation where football is still being run by billionaires and multimillionaires making decisions for fundamentally their own interests. But like you said, what I want, and I've said, is that if this is going to move, if football is properly going to change, then we need to push for fan ownership of clubs so that fans have a say. Because right now, the disparity between fans, footballers, owners, etc., is too much. It's too much. And to think that the billionaire that is your friend, I mean, just look how quickly when City signed up, people turned on Manchester City's owners. Yes, they might have been backed into a corner, but the fact is, people were loving them when they were spending the money. When Chelsea and Roman Abramovich were spending £200 million on Werner or something, yeah, my guy, Roman, yeah, Sheik, yeah, man, sir, cool, fine. And then they turned on them when they were like, yeah, we're going to do something else. They can do that. And there's no guarantee that in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, if circumstances change, that they won't. Let's be real. There's no guarantee of that. So, we've got to remember, billionaires, most of them, they still have their own interests at heart, man. They still do. I don't think he wanted this in his ESL. I don't think many people did, to be honest. I'm just interested to see what the end game here is. What is the end game? Fiontino Perez is going to be speaking. I might go live tonight, but Fiontino Perez is going to be speaking. And I'll be interested to see what he says, because either it's a war of words, and either UEFA are calling people's bluff or have got more money, or Perez is lying. I'm suspecting the latter, because if Perez is lying, because he said they were binding, he said people couldn't come out. So if Chelsea and City are preparing to try and come out, then there must be some ramifications to signing a binding document. Does the Super League go ahead with 10 teams? I don't know. I suspect the reason why is that, like, they were trying to get 15, they couldn't get the final 3, and there was a knock-on effect. I can't see how you can have a Super League with just 10 teams, though. I don't think that'll be possible, personally. To step down. Neil, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I'm a football fan first. As am I. So, but I also try and keep it balanced, because there's a lot of emotion, rightfully so, and passion on Twitter. But I also do think there has to be an element of logic and reason to a lot of these debates. And the reality, unfortunately, is that the status quo right now is still very bad and it's still very damaging and it's still harming a lot of clubs. The status quo right now is that, especially with the pandemic, is that clubs are still going to go ahead and close. They're still going to go broke. There's still going to be more money reserved and rights and pays to the bigger clubs. So right now, if things go back to status quo, it's still not that great, you know. But shout out to Neil as a Liverpool fan for coming to the United channel, you know. And I just want to, if there's anything I want to truth from this channel, although I'm a passionate Manchester United fan, is that I always think it's good to try and be as balanced and impartial as possible. But at the same time, I appreciate that we are fans, you know. I think they didn't expect all this backlash and was, well, I don't know. But see, this is the thing. This is the thing, Mo. I don't know, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. They surely could not. Must have been in the planning for months and years. It doesn't make sense to me that they decided over some coffee and beer, yo guys, let's make a Super League. You know, let's make a Super League. Yo guys, come on. Let's come together over like some coffee and beer and donuts and not really think things through. Like that does, like it literally doesn't make sense to me. So unless you know, the legalities of, like, these guys, these owners are smart. They're not dumb. They're not stupid. So something's off. It really, really is. Something is off, and maybe we'll find more details when Perez gives his talk at midnight. You are not making sense. Woodward resigned after players can want him reportedly, but Woodward worked for JP Morgan previously, and they were the money behind the ESL. So you know Woodward. Okay. I'm just getting the news. I'm just getting the news. I don't know the reason why specifically that Ed Woodward resigned. It's again, but even then, that still doesn't make sense. Like, why would he resign of the players confronting him about it? Like, his employer is the Glazers. Like, I'm sure the players confront Ed Woodward all the time about decisions. So I don't get why they would, like. So the reason he resigned was because Harry Maguire came up to him and said, "Bro, this is a bad idea." Like that doesn't make sense to me. You know, and he's the one that introduced the Glazers to Manchester United in the first place. Like I said, this is just breaking. There's clearly information that is missing that we don't know about. Is what I'm saying. Some things aren't adding up. Like, I'm not claiming to be an expert or anything, but there clearly is a lack of information. Imagine if the Glazers sell up well, ESL indirectly set United free. I mean, this is the thing, necessary evil. So at the end of the day, is this a necessary evil that happened where United, the Glazers sell? Who knows? Shout out to Red Devil Weekly, though. Please, if you guys are watching, please head over to the channel, subscribe, etc. Please give them the support. Come on, it looks like it could be happening. Let me just update Twitter and stuff. Yeah, so that was the breaking news. I'm just gonna have a look at what is going on. So Kroenke, well, that's interesting. I'm curious to see what Kroenke. Kroenke. There's certain things that will always remain the same. So like Kroenke is basically there, is still there doing his thing. I mean, it says Man City have withdrawn from the European League. Chelsea also going to request to withdraw. So City have left the European Super League. I don't know. This whole thing doesn't make sense. It doesn't. He resigned because ESL club support started. well, we it just doesn't make sense though. Like Seamus, like it doesn't make sense. There's clearly something missing. Why would they go ahead with this? I don't believe for a second that all these 12 clubs who were billionaires, access to tons of lawyers, didn't think this through. It just doesn't make sense to me. There's clearly something that is missing from this story. And like I said, a part of me thinks that with the information that UEFA have secured a couple more billion to go into the new UCL format, that maybe there's been a kind of like a few conversations, a few talks, listen, pull out of it, and we're going to give you more money. That's the only thing I can think of, because they clearly must have thought this through. I can't believe for a second that these 12 clubs decided over some beer and some donuts, let's just do it on a whim. I can't believe that. That doesn't make sense. And then he will leave. Okay, well, that's not that long. Blessing in disguise. Is this a good way to start player caps? I don't think people go that far, although I would agree with it. I agree with player caps. I agree with that. But is it a one European Super League owner may put their club for sale within days? Yeah, I'll query Stan Collymore, to be honest, with the things he's got right. But potentially, I don't know who though. I don't know who, and who would buy. Who? The thing is, you guys, we're talking about putting for sale, but people. Let's be real, guys. People still don't have the money. You know, people still don't have the money to actually, buy these clubs. People still have to got the money. Like, you still have to have the money to buy these clubs. Don't think only a few people have the cash to do so in a pandemic, which we are still in. 100% agree. These guys are calculated businessmen, fishy, and they would resign overnight on something. They wouldn't resign overnight. They had for years in advance. They knew the back exactly, and this is what I'm saying. I await, and this is what I'm trying to do. I want to have more information to make judgments, because there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of stuff going on Twitter and stuff, but a lot of it's based on scarcity. And clearly, there's certain people that must be lying, and there's certain things that are going on behind the scenes. There must be. Because if Perez, who's the chairman of the whole thing, went ahead yesterday saying all these contracts are binding, no one can leave, this is what it is, we're not going to be kicked out of this, we're not going to be kicked out of that, blah, blah. The dude was either lying outright, or UEFA played the sleight of hand. That's it. That's it. I'm trying to imagine Liverpool United not playing the league. Those preseason games are put. Well, this is again where my realism hat comes on. And thanks, guys, for please like the video, and this is a good show as well. Because I didn't expect so, but I mean, thank you for making it a good show. And with the interaction, I appreciate it. This is where I think the realism hat needs to come on. In that, yes, it's all well and good, and I've seen a lot of people saying, right, we're going to sanction them, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's fine. Until China, South America, and all these players go, yeah, we paid money for broadcasting rights and advertising rights to stream Liverpool versus United. Yeah, we're not giving you that money anymore. So that money that FC, let's say Scunthorpe, were going to get when Manchester United played them in the FA Cup, yeah, they're not getting that anymore. So whatever you say about this, and I've said, and I posted a tweet about this, if Manchester United and Liverpool and all these clubs get punished, whether that's point deductions, leagues, or the rest of it, there will be significant financial implications for other clubs. Make no mistake. There will be. And not only just for the Premier League clubs, but also for the clubs lower down in the league. That's the reality. So the money that will be going to the Premier League will be far less. if there's significant punishments to go, most likely not. I don't think the Premier League, I think they'll blow it over and they'll forget about it. Everything will just resume. Cool. But if there are, if you kick United and Liverpool to the first division or second, with the fan bases that are in China and South America and Africa, yeah, we're not giving you advertising, we're not giving you money. Make it yourself. Because let's be real, I don't think there are many people in China that are going to pay to watch Newcastle versus West Brom. No disrespect to them, because their fan bases are just not that big. We care about the leagues, the ones that were. We care about the leagues, the ones that are built by the fans. I agree. BBC says Edward will step down at the end of 2021, so he isn't just out of this. Yeah, but he's gone at least. But also I guess that also means that possibly maybe this was something that was in the works. So again, this is why new information is important, because people are saying, oh, it's because of the ESL. If he's stepping down at the end of the year, then maybe this is something that's actually been in the pipeline for a while now. And that's why, again, waiting for more information, processing information makes sense. Because why is it not immediate if it's because Harry Maguire confronted him in the dressing room? No. I presume that there's probably been some talk about this for a while now, as the Glazers begin their end game. Yes, I agree with you that it's confusing. There's news breaking all the time now, but not being able to get this over the line seems enough to get some of these shady characters out. And we'll see. And we'll see, Chief. We'll see. We will definitely see. But like I said, to provide balance, we know the shady characters in our clubs, but we don't know. I mean, I remember someone tweeting this and being like, and to be fair, Perez said it was like, do you know how much the people in UEFA are the top tier getting? Do you know what their names are? Do you know who the names are, who the shady are, who are in charge of UEFA and FIFA? Like, I think there was like, the Champions League generates £2.2 billion a year, and only 120 million of that goes to the winner of the CL. Where does the rest of that money go to? Okay, yeah, some of the remaining participants in drips, but the majority of the money goes back to UEFA. Who in UEFA? Where? Who? No one knows. No one knows how much the UEFA president and the council get. So, you know, we know because of the owners of our clubs, but I think at the very least, if fans are pushing for transparency in clubs, we should be pushing for transparency in UEFA and FIFA as well. You know, because at the end of the day, that's still our money going to a place. And let's be real, a lot of that money that's going towards these guys is going in bribes, in corruption, etc., etc. So this shouldn't stop with just pushing for reform in the league. This should stop with reform for football in general. And my fear is that all that's going to happen is that we're just going to go back to the status quo. And the status quo was pretty crap to begin with. Yeah, man. Love it. Thank you, man. Like this page, man. Keep it. Oh, appreciate it. And as a Liverpool fan, man, I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate it, man. I do. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, let's report on that. Rashford, Shaw, Fernandes made the feelings known to Woodward, and as did Alex. Woodward had to go. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said above, like maybe this is something that was in the making. Respect to the real United fans. Can't mention league without you guys. Yeah, neither with Liverpool fans, neither can I, to be honest. But should have to be punished. Maybe. But like I said, there's going to be consequences to the financial implication of the league. And no one yet has really told me if these clubs are punished, how UEFA, La Liga, Serie A, or the EFL are going to compensate the clubs that are going to suffer from the lack of revenue generated from these clubs worldwide. You know, yeah, I get the solidarity. Yeah, United fans might go and watch a game somewhere in Cardiff. I get that. But worldwide, you're not going to get Chinese guys dropping into those games. So they're going to take a hit in financial, and someone's going to make that shortfall up. And again, remember, we are in a pandemic. Clubs every day have been losing money, and it will just get worse. That's keeping it real. That's keeping it real. Apparently wants to, yep, okay. So how do we stop it? Oh, you mean you mean UEFA? Or the UEFA and FIFA? Well, this is the thing. How do we stop it? Because again, trying to keep my impartiality hat on, the problem with having a monopoly over football is that you don't get reform quickly. Whether you like it or not, UEFA and FIFA have a monopoly over football. So if people want change and reform, you're not going to get it because we have a monopoly, and often monopoly only comes with competition. You know, that's it. Were you surprised when you heard the news? I mean, surprised. Surprised by Ed Woodward resigning. Yes. But if this has been something in the pipeline, then not particularly. Because I think there were reports. The funny thing is, there were reports earlier on that said that that he was potentially going after a while now. I think so. So yeah, I'm not 100% surprised. Billionaires are not in a pandemic. No, but the smaller clubs in like League One and stuff like that are, and I don't know how you save those guys. I mean, like case in point, Bury. You know, the Premier League, FA coming out being like, yeah, we're going to make sure that this isn't going to happen, and we're going to give them resources and blah, 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 and it's not going to happen again, and we're going to bail them out and help and stuff. And nothing. Yeah, come on. How surprised were you when you heard the news about Woodward or about the Super League? The Super League, Bartomeu mentioned it. Not 100% surprised. Woodward, absolutely surprised. SSB2, hope you're doing well, man. How do we control them, I mean? Neil, we don't. We don't. I'm a realist at times, and to be honest, I think it's gone too far the other way. That it's like a house is burned. It's like the question that you're asking is basically like a house is on fire. And the alternative is that you can and all your possessions are burned, and you might be able to salvage some of the ash, but it's still burnt down. And that's kind of what it is. It's like, this is more right now where we are for me in football, is that it's just a question of trying to salvage what you can, but the house is still burning. You know, that for me is where we are, unfortunately. Wait, what happened? You mean Ed Woodward has resigned? Ed Woodward was resigned. In fact, I'm going to quickly go and check Twitter again, because there just seems to be breaking news all the time. Let's have a look. Sorry, I'm just going to look at. I'm just trying to keep on up with the trends. Why is Aubameyang trending? Oh, maybe he's. Oh, because it was the Premier League captain thing. Okay. Okay, Ed Woodward will leave Manchester as he was planning by months. Confirmed he's going to stay on to end. Yeah, so he's been planning for months to step down and resign anyway. So this is not a big thing. Is there any news? Additional news? I mean, it still says Real Madrid president says that they will save football, but I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. I really, really don't know. Chelsea, I think, are trending as well. Let's have a look at, because Chelsea have some. So people are saying that he's pulling out. I don't know what's going on, man. There's too much. There's so much. Chelsea will release an official statement in the morning. You know, see this. This is the stuff that I read where I'm just kind of like, oh, come on, guys, let's not stop being naive. Like, there's a tweet is like City and Chelsea saying football turns out it's the oil clubs who have morals and common sense. Oh, come on, see this is the stuff that you read and you're just kind of like, man, nah, come on. They need rules. Implemented by who though? I don't know who implements them. So you know, it's like who governs FIFA and UEFA. You know what I mean? Right now, it's a monopoly. So UEFA and FIFA can do what they want. Really? Did he just resign? Yep. Well, no, he's going to be resigning the next couple of months, according to Fabrizio Romano. At least from what we know. UEFA have to go, but it's just the way they are doing it is not sitting right with the people. Well, it's like I said earlier, it's like they have to go, but I guess whatever happens from this, UEFA become more powerful anyway, don't they? Really? Like, you know, what's this is what like the status quo is bad, and the only thing I see coming from this is right now. It's like, okay, fine. Let's say these 12, let's Perez and stuff like that gone. What does that mean? You know, it means to me, it means that UEFA are very powerful, doesn't it now? They've got more powerful. So how do you intend to push any meaningful reform via UEFA or FIFA if you've now just made them more powerful than they already were? Oh, you know, reform the CL or reform the FIFA or reform corruption. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Isn't that all they have to say? Or worse, forget about what we're doing behind the scenes and screwing you guys over. Just watch the Champions League final and be entertained by that. That's what FIFA are doing with the World Cup. So forget about all the the corruption and the loss of life and stuff behind the scenes. Just watch the World Cup. So I don't know. It's either way, it's not good in my opinion. I'm somewhat afraid of what is to come. As am I, Nicholas. As am I. What they should have aimed for is to place Champions League. These English and Italian owners were putting Perez at the face of the ESL. Come on, so underplay. Well, that was the aim of the ESL, to place the Champions League, wasn't it? It's clearly not happened. You know, they should punish us for even staying so long in the with the ESL. Get the glazers out. But it's what I'm saying. Like, punishing United is going to impact smaller clubs. You know, if when United play Crawley in the EFL, 50% of the revenue, that's the majority of the revenue for that game, is generated by Manchester United, but 50% of it goes to Crawley. That doesn't happen anymore. And that amount of money that would be generated by Manchester United would help Crawley for another season, pay their wages, keep them out of administration. That doesn't happen anymore. So the revenue that you were getting from a United and Liverpool City, gone, boom, vanish. And instead, well, clubs close, you know? It's so hard to trust in you right now. Yeah, I mean, I need to reflect on it. I'm probably gonna finish off in a second. It says when you're having people on, I'm probably gonna be able to do a show tomorrow or break it down. So because I actually really got to do some work now, and I think I'm gonna go live. Man, worldwide. I've been watching you on Usman and your video clips, man, and it's just that my head is spinning. Really, it's just crazy. This is civil war, and Football Cup won't be the same, I think, after this. And even though people say it's done, I generally think that this is delaying the inevitable. And at some point, they will push for this. And you're still going to get small clubs are still going to suffer regardless. At the end of the day, yes, we can say it's for the fans, but let's be real. Billionaires are going to get richer. Multimillionaires are going to get richer. And fans are going to have less and less control over their clubs. So, I don't know. Either whatever the outcome of this is, I don't see where the I don't see where the positive outcome comes. To be honest, I really don't. I don't, unless somehow we get to 50% fan ownership and there's legislation from the government to push that model on, so that you say, right, every owner of their respective clubs in EFL has to cede 50% of ownership to fans or individuals, whatever. Then, okay, maybe I can get on board for change. Right now, all I'm seeing is UEFA basically getting richer and FIFA getting richer, because the UEFA Nations League, the expanded Champions League, the FIFA Club World Cup that's going to be expanded from next year, all those things are still going ahead, still getting players to play more games, still more revenue for those clubs. That, you know, nothing's changing from that perspective. Maybe a punishment could be to sell off their shares. So SME, good point. Very, very good point. That is okay. So that's thinking outside of the box. So yeah, maybe that is, I didn't even think about that. That is a very, very, very good point, SSB. Maybe a punishment could be, see, rather than deducting points and all the rest and stuff like that. In fact, I might tweet that. I think I'll actually tweet that. Actually, I'm gonna copy that if you don't mind, and I'm actually gonna tweet it. Can I even? Oh no, I can't. Copy it and tweet it, because that is an incredibly good point. Imagine if the punishment laid down by the Premier League and the EFL and the Liga was, you have to sell half of your shares, you have to give half of your shares away to the fans. Imagine that. Imagine that. That would be the punishment. That would change things. I'm on board with that. That for me would be a far more positive punishment that would benefit football in the long run than just deducting points, fining, etc., etc. You know, that was a brilliant. Sorry guys, that was. I'm gonna just. Sorry, I'm literally just tweet that, guys. That was. I know it sounds. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just gonna quick. Yeah, that I'm sorry. You know, that is a great almost Super League out, Super League, European. I'm interested to see what Perez is. I probably will post a video about Fiorentina Perez, basically, and what he says tonight. I think, because this is big. I mean, this is really big, really big. And I think that what's important as well. Okay, I tweeted that. Thank you very much, buddy. Can't wait to get back with you on here, bro. You're dead right. This type of thing is inevitable, because it's, yeah, exactly, man. And worldwide, man. Uh you're obviously America and stuff like that. And I was watching what you were saying and on there, and I was just like, these guys aren't dumb, these guys aren't stupid, and it is all about money. And at the end of the day, whatever you say, there was an English division before the Premier League. There was the European Cup before the Champions League. At some point, there will always change and reform will happen. You know, it's just who's in control of that. That's the thing. So whatever people say, the status quo that we have now, the way things are, it will change. It will. The question is, who's in control of that change and who will profit? And right now, it will be UEFA and FIFA. This is how sports are run in the States. So unless they get rid of the billionaire businessman, this stuff. Exactly. So this is why I posted that tweet, because I was like, this is going to come up again. It'll come up again. It will come up again. And I don't know. I really don't know. The coup d'etat was just attempt one. A lot of these big clubs are ran horribly. This is not the end of it. They need this money. Yeah. Guys, make no mistake. They were promised £400 million to enter. It's funny because you haven't heard from Arsenal or Spurs. Why? Because they were promised £400 million to enter. And even if Chelsea and City are out of it, Chelsea a big one because they're global worldwide if they're out of it. But do City really have a big global fan base? No, not really. So you still got a lot. If Real Madrid and Barca and United and Liverpool, 4 of those teams are still in it, that's still arguably the majority of the world's football fan base, not including Atleti, Arsenal, and so on, Exactly, the fans fought for UEFA and FIFA in this. We took the side of lucrative millionaires again. Yeah. I mean, we need to. It's sort of like it's the Wolf thing, when the Premier League opens doors to these billionaires in the first place. They open their doors to Wolves, and now they're surprised that the Wolves stabbed them in the back. Fans love them. It's great, but we're opening the door again to Wolves. Yeah. Well, we've got your interests at heart. Yeah. We like you. We want to do right by fans and stuff like that. Yeah, it's good. Oh, FIFA, UEFA, can you do something about the racism issue? Can you do something about the corruption? Can you do something about that? It's like, wait, what? No. That's not what we do here. Peace. Whoa, wait a minute. So yeah. UEFA, FIFA, Sky, for Bootsy were only up in the air because Super League threatened. Yeah. Yep. What more is to say, really? Because if you have a bidding war and suddenly Amazon now consume the rights, then what? I don't remember Sky, because people say in the midst of a pandemic. Hang on a minute. Sky, not that long ago, was charging me somewhere between £15 to £20 to watch Manchester United play a game. Sky and BT. Pay up. 15 to 20 on top of the amount that I pay monthly anyway. They scrapped it because people were annoyed. But that was during a pandemic. And the reason they scrapped it was because people weren't buying, personally. But if people were buying it, they wouldn't have scrapped it. And they probably would have kept it. Player power has increased a lot because of this as well. I could even see the players going on strike in the future. Yes and no. Because Tony Kroos's tweet, and I'll try and see if I can find it, but Tony Kroos's tweet, to be honest, for me, summarizes the situation in that Okay, yes, we don't like this sort of thing, but as far as I'm aware, players don't like the UEFA Nations League and expand the FIFA Club World Cup more games. So it again comes to my point about that. They don't like the fact that they could potentially be asked, hold the phone, guys. UEFA, FIFA, all these guys have been asked to play games in the States, in Saudi Arabia, in all these places. And you want to, like, the biggest criticism to the Super League was, oh, it's going to be disconnected from the fans and the stadiums. Does everyone remember 2 years ago when Arsenal were playing, I think, Chelsea in the Europa League, right? It was in Azerbaijan. And I think that only about 30%, 34% of tickets were allocated between the Chelsea and Arsenal fans. The rest was for corporates, finances, all the rest of it, right? No direct flights, no help, no support from the governing bodies, thousands of pounds for Arsenal fans to spend to go all the way to watch a cup final, a European Cup final in Azerbaijan. Tell me where the love of the fans is in that. And tell me why in 2 years' time, UEFA say, we're going to play the cup final in Miami. Oh, we don't like that, so what are you going to do about it? Protest? We have a monopoly, so we're going to do it, and you're just going to accept it because it is what it is. Where you're permanently where UEFA, and we've agreed it. And if you don't, it's not going to happen. Do you kind of see the problem? It comes down to who controls money. Yep. The richest player in NBA is on freedom's money as David De Gea. It's because of this inclusive owners and the franchise investment. Exactly. The teams mad initially against somebody wouldn't have been mad if they were invited into the league. And I think that's a fair point as well. I do think that's a fair point. It would be something to be seen as a strong. Let's not even go to the race. I don't want to even go into that because it does. You do sometimes, and this is why I do have to kind of detach myself from this sometimes, is because it's kind of like you do think. Imagine if this was such a strong response to so many of the key social issues in our world, how much change we'd get. To homelessness, to racism, to poverty, to so many things, to healthcare, whatever. Imagine if there was this response to that, how much change there would be. So we're talking about greed, but the only reason there's a response like this is so visceral is also greed. So there you go. Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah. Right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm done. I've streamed for almost an hour now. I didn't think it would go on for this one, but I had to go live now. Woodward out. Woodward gone. Woodward resigns. Guys, it's getting real. It is actually getting real. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.